It's Demetrius Ebron and you're watching YurpTV.
Popo taking photos, yeah. Talking is a no-no, call me Quasimodo. You know me, 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 you know me. After that paper, yeah, that paper, yeah, that paper, yeah, that paper. You know me, you know me. Demetrius Ebron.
What's going on, man?
What's up, my boy?
Chilling, man.
Hey, man, good to see you, my boy.
You too, man.
Yeah. Hey, so I'll tell you what we doing with YurpTV, man. I appreciate you for rocking with me, man. Let's start off with where you from, bro.
From Norfolk.
Word, Norfolk. That's where we at right now, right?
Yeah, from Norfolk. All over Norfolk, really.
That's what's up. Born and raised?
Born and raised. Any of the worst parts of Norfolk, I'm from there.
Word.
Oh,
Ocean View?
not that part.
Nah, Ocean View?
No, not Ocean View, but Youngs Park.
Youngs Park.
Huntersville.
Word.
Park Place.
Yeah.
Those three primarily.
Okay.
But I started in Youngs Park. That's when I was little.
Okay.
High school, I was in Huntersville.
Yeah.
And in between that, Park Place.
Oh, yeah, you had it rough then, huh?
It was interesting.
Word.
It was interesting. Yeah.
That's what's up, man. Tell the people a little bit about what you do, man. ABM Lawn Care. Let's go with that.
Well, we run a lawn maintenance company. Well,
Yeah.
I run a lawn maintenance company. Sometimes I feel like a lawn maintenance company runs me.
Word.
But what we do is we primarily provide lawn maintenance for residential. We do residential lawn maintenance primarily.
Yeah.
So cutting grass, trimming bushes, cleanups. You let your yard get real crazy, we come fix that for you.
That's what's up. Yeah. Let people know about your startup, man. Cause I remember I met you, man, back in. You know what I'm saying? When I meet you, bro? Back
You didn't meet me in the very, very beginning.
Yeah.
But when you met me,
Yeah. When I met you, it still was a little low for you, though. You know what I'm saying? Look, you want where you at now. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, we go to the very beginning.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Good.
We go to the very beginning. I had so I was driving a Hyundai Sonata, and I'll tell you how it started. A guy knocked on my door, said he wanted to cut my grass. Cut my grass. I think I paid him $40. He was there for 20 minutes. I did some simple math, and I said, "Man, this guy's making a lot more money than me at my regular job."
Yeah, that's a fact.
The next day, I went on Craigslist and I bought a used lawnmower from little old lady.
The next day?
The next day.
Okay.
And I bought a used lawnmower from this little old lady. Eventually got a blower and a trimmer. I had all of this in my trunk. And first client, I think I started on Craigslist. I started getting most of my clients from Craigslist. So I would post every day. But I would post like every few hours. I was real serious. I was crazy.
That's what's up.
Yeah, every few hours I was like, okay, it's 12 o'clock. I had an alarm. I had alarms on my phone. Like, okay, it's 12 o'clock. I need to make another post.
For real?
Yeah.
I've been there before.
Yeah,
so I know.
I was dead serious.
That's what's up.
So that's how I started, Craigslist. I mean, it was ugly, but it paid. The reward to me was good,
What was the first amount you started cutting for?
I didn't even know where to start.
Yeah.
But prices all over the place.
What's the lowest you cut for?
Well, cutting is the one thing. I've done so many different things.
You do trimming and all that good stuff too.
Well, cutting, so probably like $30.
Word.
$30.
Okay.
But I didn't know what I was doing. I had no clue what I was doing. Like when I bought this lawnmower, I mean, you wouldn't believe that you cannot know how to cut grass, but that is actually a real thing.
I don't know how to cut grass.
Exactly.
So, I
didn't know how to trim or edge.
Word.
I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people on Craigslist. Shout out to Craigslist.
Yeah, shout out
Craigslist.
Craigslist is where I got my start from,
Hey,
bro.
look,
That's my humble beginnings, man. You
But
already
the
know.
people that would contact me from Craigslist, a lot of times the grass would be like super high,
as hell.
and I got this little cheap lawnmower that's not supposed to be able to go through this.
Word.
So the price was not horrible, but the amount of work that I was doing for that was absurd.
For real?
It was crazy. I mean, it was crazy.
But you satisfy your customers, right?
Oh yeah, I always took my dedication to my clients very seriously. That's one thing that led me to where I am now. I always was serious about what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? I never took it as a joke. You know, I promised somebody that I would do a job, and I wanted to do a good job.
Respect.
And I made sure that I did a good job.
That's what's
to
up.
the best of my ability.
Yes, of course. Of course.
So that's, but I just took it so serious, you know. So yeah.
All right. I mean,
I'm just thinking back, man.
I feel you. I feel you. So now, you know what I'm saying? Nowadays, you know, you run a very successful business. About 4 trucks on the road. 4 trucks on the road?
We have 4 trucks, but primarily it's 3 trucks that
okay.
actually perform the work.
And that's a huge jump, bro. Because when I said, when I met you, you had the one lawnmower. And you still, you know what I'm saying, going door to door, cutting grass, doing that thing like that, man.
Yeah.
How would you say you built this type of empire, bro? Like, what would be like? I say, what was the day where you felt like, you know what, I did this, man. I did this.
I would feel like that typically just about at the end of every day.
Word.
Because I've accomplished something. Anytime I had to satisfy a customer, I felt as though I felt good about myself. You know what I'm saying? I did that. So, and I still don't feel like I'm, like, to answer your question, I don't feel like I'm quite where I want to be. So I don't know if I've reached that moment where I'm like, I'm here.
Word.
I'm proud of what I've been able to accomplish thus far, but I wouldn't say I'm here.
That's what's up. I'm proud of you too, man. You definitely okay, let's get on I'm gonna switch the topic here, man.
Okay.
Let's get on the entrepreneurism, right?
Okay.
Because when I met you, you had 2 jobs, and you were cutting, right? There's a stigma on workers these days, right? Like, oh, you working for somebody else, and da da da. How do you feel about that?
We had this conversation.
We talked about it earlier, yeah.
I don't like. Okay, so they got this. You know, everything is a shame now. But I don't like the idea of job shaming people. You know, I saw somebody on Facebook the other day talking about how I'm not going to congratulate somebody for getting a job at a fast food restaurant.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that too.
You saw that.
I saw that.
And I was just like, I can't appreciate that type of mentality to demean somebody for actually working. You know, that's how people get ahead. Everybody starts at the bottom. You know, I was dealing with a whole lot of, I don't want to be vulgar, but
no, you good. It's YurpTV.
Dog shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I dealt with it. But I was, you know, physical labor. That's what we primarily offer, is physical labor.
Yeah,
but I don't think that demeans you as a person to do even the lowest of a job.
I mean, if you're trying though, you know, that's really all that matters. You know what I'm saying? This guy's, even if you're 40 years old, you know what I'm saying, starting to work somewhere, you try. That's all you can get. That's all you can get. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get where you can get.
And you don't know what people's circumstances are. But you know, somebody putting one foot ahead of the other one. You know what I'm saying? I respect anybody that's doing that. So
you're not with people saying, you know, oh, you should be your own boss. You don't feel like everybody should be their own boss.
No.
Word.
No.
Why is that? Why is that?
Being your own boss, most people are. I don't want to be too derogatory, but people have a hard enough time being an employee, and that's tough right there. Often do a poor job at being an employee. So how is it that somebody who's struggling to be an employee could now transition to being their own boss? You're gonna take those same qualities as your own boss, and now the requirements to be an entrepreneur or your own boss, it's much higher. You're required to work for free. You're going to do a lot of stuff for free. You're going to do a lot of work for free. You're going to have a lot of sleepless nights, and you're not going to be able to clock out. You can't, you know, you can't just, it's 3 o'clock, it's time for me to go. It never ends.
Nah, that's fact.
You know, so I don't think it's wrong for people to work. And I just don't think I don't appreciate the idea that working for somebody is a bad thing, you know. And then the people who are aspire to become entrepreneurs or bosses, if you will.
That's a fact.
Eventually, they might have to have employees. You want them to have the same attitude of screw the boss, eat the rich, this type of attitude.
You got employees, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your crew consist of? How many?
Well, peak season this year we had about 11 people employed.
Word.
At one time.
Okay.
Yeah.
How is it working with that many people, man? Coming from where you're from, man, and having to manage these guys, bro.
it's stressful.
Word.
Dealing with people, that's another thing. Going back to the business thing, dealing with people in general is stressful.
Definitely.
Dealing with clients can be stressful. Dealing with employees is even more stressful, I think. So it's something you got to learn. I feel like I spent the entire last year learning how to have employees, but it's just it's a hard thing to learn.
Have you ever worked with employees that don't want to work? Because I know I find a lot of times, even when I was working jobs, you got lazy motherfuckers working with you, man. You just got some people that don't want to work. Shouldn't even be here.
Well, I learned something real fast. I learned that most people don't want to work.
Most people?
Most
people don't want to work. That's the tough thing.
I mean, I might be speaking hyperbolically, but from what I've encountered,
in your field, definitely.
I don't know if it's just my field.
You don't think it's just your field?
I don't think so.
But you're doing hard labor. You're doing hard labor, so
it's nice. It is labor. It is hard. But I don't just look at my field when I do research about business, and I see that no matter what field people are in, they have difficulties with getting people to actually perform, to do their jobs, to work. So, okay, I don't have the most pleasant job of, cutting grass and things like that. It's physical. You sweat, bugs, dirt,
of course, yeah.
But I was under the impression when I first started that everybody wanted to work. I was under the impression, I thought that everybody wanted to work. So it was just like, okay, I got a job for somebody. I know they're coming to work. I know they want to work. Because people, like, the complaint, there are no jobs. I can't find a job. You come to find out that people don't want to work. There are way more jobs than there are people willing to fill those positions. There's way more jobs. There's no reason for. I really believe there's no reason for anybody that wants to work to be unemployed. I don't believe it. I can't believe it.
So why do you feel like they are unemployed?
Because people choose to be unemployed. People choose not to work. It's and gradually it's becoming easier not to work. I used to think that people were having a hard time finding jobs. I was watching this documentary the other day, and it was talking about homelessness. And most people are sympathetic or empathetic towards anybody not having a home, being homeless. But I was watching the interview. Well, it was a documentary, and the dude was so happy to be homeless. Like he was happy. Do you enjoy living? Of course. I love living on the streets. So it's people. You might, it's hard to judge people's situation and put yourself in their shoes. Yeah, true. For the lack of it, some people prefer to not work. Some people prefer to be homeless, and it's not a bad thing to them. Yeah, it might seem bad to you, but they might enjoy it.
I feel that. What's the biggest job you ever had to do, man? Yeah.
Biggest job.
Biggest job. Yeah. This includes those big ass lawnmowers you got now. You know what I'm saying? Like
the biggest job.
Yeah, the biggest job, man. You had to. Cause you do commercial properties too, right?
We do commercial. Okay. Oh, I got a story. So we do one of the marinas here. Okay. And the first time we did it, we had to clean it up. So we had bushes to trim. There was a bunch of overgrown grass, and so it was just crazy. It was a lot of work. So I went back to Craigslist. I had employees, but I needed some extra help. So I went on in Craigslist, and I had some people come help us.
Let me ask you, man. That Craigslist thing, man, where you looking for employees, that's not good, is it? You think it's good? Cause I'm gonna say, man, I don't know what. I used to work for a boss. Okay. At a painting company, man. The guys he was bringing in on, these guys were straight winos, bro. Like crackheads type dudes. Man. Like how the hell did you pass this screening, bro? Like, these guys, it's wild, bro. Craigslist is wild.
True. Mm-hmm. And I had to learn that the hard way. I had to learn it the hard way. Like I was telling you, I thought people wanted to work. So before, when I first started needing help, I would go to Craigslist and I would speak to somebody on the phone. They seemed halfway reasonable, and I hadn't met the person.
So do videos from now, video chat.
Well, I meet the people now. I gotta meet you and do a full interview. I can't because, I didn't know. Yeah. And the people that I was running into, they didn't want to work, and half the time they wouldn't show up for one.
Word.
Most of the time they wouldn't show up. Man, you wouldn't believe it.
I wouldn't.
Somebody will call you somebody will beg you for a job and then not show up on the first day. So that's what I was doing.
Maybe they got another job somewhere else. Let's just go with that. Maybe, man. Maybe they was looking all week and then you was the last one to hit them.
A lot of people, what I found from Craigslist is that they have a certain expectation. Like, so we run the business as a professional enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everything's professional. Uniforms. We expect you getting paid every 2 weeks.
That's what's
You're
up.
paying taxes. You know, everything.
That's
Pay
what's
stuff.
up.
So we run it as a professional enterprise, but a lot of people, they don't want that.
Yeah, they want like the
They want to, hey, I want to work
Yeah,
today. I want to make a little,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
That's what they want.
Okay.
But when you, and I think maybe that's what deterred a lot of people. They're like, okay, these people are actually trying to run a business.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in that.
Nah. I'm trying to get something to drink.
Yeah, I'm just trying to work today. you want me to be employed? That's too much.
I feel you, bro. I feel you. So I know we talked a while ago. You mentioned some of your friends, man, not being as close as you were due to your success. Yeah. We'll get into it. Yeah. So how did that affect you, man? How does that affect you? I mean,
how does that affect me?
Mm-hmm. Some people that you were very close with, man, they almost turned their backs on you, so to speak, due to you actually trying to do something. You remember telling me about it?
Yeah, I can recall.
Yeah.
I don't think it affects me too adversely. I would say that my understanding is that everybody has their own time to do what they need to do, and I think oftentimes when people see other people pursuing their goals, it makes them uncomfortable because it makes them reflect on the fact that maybe there's some shortcomings, maybe some things that they need to address, and they see you addressing those things, and it makes them feel uncomfortable because it's uncomfortable to address yourself about things that you're neglecting or things that you're not doing. So, doesn't adversely affect me. I think it's important to give people time to grow. I think.
Word.
You know.
That's a good professional answer.
I'm getting old.
Yeah.
I'm getting old. That's professional answer.
You got a little professional answer.
You got me on camera. And
you know, man. You know how I get there. Yeah, man. So do you plan on expanding, man? I know you've been in Norfolk for your whole life.
Yeah.
I would ask you, exactly like how is it being in your same city, running your business in the same city? But do you have plans to expand anywhere further?
I got a lot of different crazy business ideas.
Word. I'm saying with ABM Lawn Care.
With the lawn care?
Yeah.
So we got to get into things that is more complex, too complicated to probably address right now. But I'm comfortable. When I first started doing lawn care, I didn't think there was any money to be made. Like when I immediately started my business, I was like, we are advertising to Virginia Beach. There's nothing to do in Norfolk.
Yeah.
We're going straight to Virginia Beach because apparently that's where the money is.
Yeah.
And I still hear people to this day telling me, man, you got to get out of Norfolk. I'm like, man, I'm born in Norfolk. I'm making money in Norfolk. I'm going to stay in Norfolk. I'm going to take care of Norfolk. You know what I mean? So I'm happy. I'm happy about Norfolk expanding to other cities in due time. We cross that bridge when we get to it. But right now, there's a lot of work to be done in Norfolk. So that's why I'm here. Yeah. We, ABM, that's why we're here to take care of Norfolk.
How do you handle criticism, man? As far as, the guys that you did turn your back on, or family, or, what I'm saying? Anybody per se, you know what I'm saying? How do you handle criticism when it comes down to ABM Lawn Care?
Criticism.
Yeah. And you got reviews as well, right? On Google and things like that.
Mostly good reviews.
Mostly good.
Mostly
some of that.
Google me. It's mostly good.
Of course.
We actually have a very high rating.
I saw that.
I'm not gonna brag.
I saw that. I saw that when you first began. Yeah.
We have a very high rating.
But how do you handle the negativity, man? The negative feedback.
Feedback from customers.
It could be customers or just anybody out and about. Family.
At first, I shied away from it.
Word.
But actually addressing it made me a whole lot better. Like, I was afraid.
So how do you address it?
Well, I'll give you an example. When I first started, you always do the best job that you can, but I was afraid of criticism. And that's not a good thing. You can't improve if you don't, address criticism. So at first I wouldn't want anybody to, come critique my work. But now, the homeowner, hey, come, walk the project. Show me, what do you think? I want to know what you think. And once I did that, things went crazy for me.
Business started booming.
It became better, because I was more critical of myself, for one, and me being more critical of myself made me do a better job. So I was always prepared. I'm not gonna have somebody walk the property and look at something that was not done appropriately. So I was so critical of myself that I knew they would be happy. And sometimes they might find something, and I was happy to fix it for them, and they were happy to have somebody care. So
that's what's up right now.
You got to embrace criticism when it's necessary. In business, you're dealing with people. So now there are times where criticism, I feel like, is unwarranted, but you got to deal with that as well.
That's a
you
fact.
You can't quite please everybody, but you do your best. Can't please everybody.
Nah, that's a fact. Hey man, I deal with it on the daily, man. You really can't. What's your customer base looking like right now, man? How many customers are you servicing right now?
We have a little over 200.
200 customers.
200. About 200.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot, bro. That's a lot of people, bro. If you come into contact with, is that per week or per month or what's
So we have different plans for different people. So
okay.
Some people are weekly, some people are every 2 weeks, and then we have some people who have different, more complicated. We might include the bushes or cleanup, leaf cleanup, things like that. So they have a different type of contract. But yeah,
that's what's up, man. That seems like a tough task to handle, man. 200 people at a time like that, man.
It can be.
Word.
It can be. Just like I said before, just dealing with people is it's difficult.
Yeah.
I think I do a pretty good job at it.
Nah, you do, man. Like I said, we seen your reviews, man. You're up there, man. And
you treat people well, typically they reciprocate.
Facts. And on top of that, you're the #1 recommended lawn care in Norfolk. You know what I'm saying? Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Congrats, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's dope right there, man. And you're a black man. You know what I'm saying? That's tough. That's tough. Putting pressure on you.
Don't make it tougher.
Don't make it tougher.
Don't make it tougher.
Nah, man. I got to give you props for that, man. A lot of people don't really give people their accolades for what they doing.
Nah, I appreciate it.
And you definitely doing your thing, bro. Like I said, from when I saw you, this is all I can go off of. I can only go off when I met you.
Yeah. And
now to where you are now. And that came with strictly consistency, dedication, and grind. You know what I'm saying? And I respect that, bro.
Yeah.
What are some things that helped you along the way? I know you actually put me on Grant Cardone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you for that.
Yeah.
Rich Dad Poor Dad was, I don't know if you...
I probably put you on.
Yeah, I think you put me on that too. Rich Dad, and that became one of my favorite books.
Yeah.
So give us some things that kind of helped you along the way, bro.
Books, YouTube. I mean, if you can't, man, you can learn so much from YouTube. I learned how to cut grass from YouTube. Granted, I learned some stuff that I implemented myself or came up with myself, but I learned how to cut grass from YouTube. Then, the YouTube, big thing. Yeah. Books. YouTube and books, man. You can learn so much from YouTube and so much from books, and books just kind of blew it out of the, it just took me to a whole nother level.
See, a lot of people don't get the backstory of you, man. Like, I can't really explain everything that I seen, but I remember you would not listen to music for weeks, and you'll be listening to audiobooks.
Yeah.
Pulling up on me listening to audiobooks for days, bro. Like, what the fuck, nigga? You better throw on some... You know what I'm saying? We ride, you got an audiobook playing. Like, those are the things that, make a successful business. You know what I'm saying? Actually studying.
Well, when you can see the information change your life right in your front of your face, I became addicted to just learning, because anybody that put me on to any type of information on YouTube, I implemented it immediately. I'm like, okay, if this person, I don't care about what people say theoretically. Yeah. Somebody on YouTube, this is what I did it. Okay, you did it, I can do it. And that's just, and time and time again, I just was able to do the same thing that somebody else has done. So
Let me ask you, man. When you see yourself, man, you already, you know what I'm saying, you're already successful in your own right. But to others, you say you're not as successful as you want to be, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, it's not that I wouldn't consider myself to be successful. It's just that success is something that you have to consistently obtain every day.
I agree.
You can be successful one day and not the next.
Right.
So you have to be consistent. It's not given.
Yeah, that's facts.
But go ahead,
where you see yourself, man, in 2 years, man? You keep your foot on the pedal. Keep your foot on your pedal, and you just straight tunnel vision, man. Where do you see yourself 2 years?
If you had asked me that 2 years ago, I'd be able to tell you a more clear. I'm not exactly sure. Right. I have some things that I want to pursue, but I got so many different things that I want to pursue that now I have to really narrow down what I want to pursue. But in 2 years, I like ABM. I want ABM. If you getting your lawn done in Norfolk, it should be nobody else other than ABM.
Monopolizing? Plan on monopolizing?
I ain't gonna say that, but something like it.
Word.
I want to be more. What's the word? I can't think of the word, but I want to be prevalent. That's not the word, but I want to be something like a big
I feel you. You want to be one of the ones.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that, bro. Yeah. And I respect that. What would you say to a youth, somebody that wants to get into your shoes or wants to start their own company or whatever the case? What would be some of the first steps they need to take?
To do lawn care?
It could be lawn care or just entrepreneurial advice. You know what I'm saying?
You got to be tough. That's it. You got to be tenacious. You got to be tenacious in order to be successful. And I learned tenacity a lot from working out or just being physical. If you're not willing to put in a lot of work, you might as well just like you said, just get that job because it's gonna be some bad days. Some long days, some hard days,
long nights,
some unpaid days.
A lot of unpaid days.
It's gonna be some unpaid days.
Yeah.
I've done jobs where I paid my people, but I didn't make any money. But I just want to get the job done. I promised this person I was gonna do this, so I had to get the job done. But you get beat up and just be tough. You gotta persevere through a lot to be successful in anything.
I agree.
But in business, it's really tough.
Word.
You gotta have thick skin.
That's a fact.
You gotta be able to, and so if you're gonna be selling, you gotta be able to communicate people. You gotta be honest. That's one of the things that
Grant Cardone has one of these things where he said you have to be crazy to be successful. Do you agree?
I'm a little crazy.
You're a little crazy.
I'm a little crazy. I think you have to be a little crazy.
What kind of crazy though? Not crazy like mass murder crazy, of course. But we're talking about like crazy, like addicted. Crazily addicted.
Crazy, like the impossible has to become possible. Somehow you got to figure out how to make the impossible possible.
Right.
I think way back in the day, I was doing this leaf job, and I had a guy working with me, and we had all these tarps of leaves, and it looked like it would not fit in the truck. I was feeling it myself, like I'm thinking in the back of my head, I don't know if it's gonna work.
Word.
But the guy with me, he was saying, it ain't gonna fit.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this is going to fit.
Yeah.
One way or another. This is one trip is going to be done. That's the type of crazy you got to be. You got to be. This has to be done.
Did y'all make it fit?
Oh, it made it fit. Oh yeah, it fit.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what
it was.
That's what it is right there.
But you got to be crazy like that. You got to be able to push yourself, motivate yourself. A lot of people don't have any motivation. And if you have nothing motivating yourself, what's the point?
What would you say people need to have who don't have motivation? What would they need to motivate them?
I don't know what it takes to motivate. They got to figure that out for themselves. For me, it's I guess my biggest fear is not to live up to my potential. So when I look at my own records of or list of accomplishments or lack of accomplishments, I say.
And you didn't grow up with your dad either, right?
No.
That's the wild part, man. Not having that guidance and still being able to get out here and make a way, because a father, I believe, is needed. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, it's definitely needed. But that doesn't mean that I didn't learn from
Elders,
a lot of different people.
mentors.
You know, I mean, a lot of people was people I never met, people in books that just have just so much knowledge. Now, knowledge is, I don't think it can replace a father. You know, that's necessary. I believe in family. Family is important. But I've learned so much from people that I've never met. You know, there's people that I really, you know, respect. Like people like Jordan Peterson, Thomas Sowell. These two people, you know, when people, I think it's interesting when I talk about people, well, when I hear people who get sad when like celebrities die, like if something would have happened to these people, I'd probably be here crying.
For real?
Myself personally, yeah.
You don't even know those guys, man.
Yeah, exactly. but I learned so much from them.
I feel you, though.
You know,
I
feel like I know them.
That's what it's for, man. You get that close.
Yeah.
Once you start reading these guys, man, I don't think I'd cry if Grant.
I probably wouldn't cry.
Yeah, if Grant Cardone died or anything, I'd be like, okay, you know what I'm saying? It's fucked up, but you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't cry, but I feel you though. You do get that personal when they're teaching you exactly things that you haven't been taught. You know,
man, so much stuff that you just never would learn. You know, it's just so much information out there that's saying, I feel like I've been robbed for the first few years of my, growing up, I feel like I've been robbed. All this time was wasted. I didn't learn anything.
I agree.
I agree,
man. Same here, man. I wish I knew, but we always hear from our parents. They wish they knew what they knew now, and you know what I'm saying? Well, whoever you meet, everyone will always say.
I don't think it's an excuse for what is going on. The lack of learning, or the lack of what's being taught, to me, it's inexcusable.
So you agree you should still learn every day?
I like to learn every day. That's actually entertaining for me.
Yeah.
You know, so I like to learn. That's
what's up, man. Well, look, man, I wish you much success. You're already successful as it is. Don't stop saying you're not successful, man.
I didn't say I wasn't.
Yeah, I wish you much success, man. It's good seeing you again. You know, you're my boy.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Good seeing you again, bro. Let everybody know where they can find you at on social media, bro.
You can find me. Well, you can find me on Facebook, Demetrius Ebron.
Okay.
His first and last name.
Yeah.
ABM Lawn Care LLC. You can find me. You can just Google that, and you can find.
Just Google it, huh?
Just Google.
Just Google.
Just Google ABM Lawn Care, or you can just Google best lawn care company in Norfolk. You should pop up.
Yeah, talk it, bro. Talk that shit, man.
You should pop up.
That's what's up, bro. That's my boy right here. Yeah, boy. Appreciate that, my boy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What you doing, Quasi? Shit. Working on my bankroll. Trying to flip it cause I'm tired of the same mode. Getting richer on these niggas, that's my main goal. That's my main goal.